Insidious laughter after an awful rap battle loss leads to LL Cool J and Jay-Z beefing for over 20 years.
Is it true that you and Jay-Z once battled in a parking lot in Manhattan, and you rapped a verse from Funkadelic Relic, and him and his team laughed at you?
Okay, let's talk about it, what it really is. First of all, I didn't rap a verse from Funkadelic Relic. Okay, that's the first fucking thing.
That's the story.
It's bullshit.
Okay,
it's not true. What did happen though is, I see guy, in the club and they're trying to, flash money to get my attention. And I'm looking, okay, and then this man Sauce came up to me and was rapping. So I had a couple of rhymes. Remember, I'm albums in now. Mm-hmm. These are guys that ain't had a deal. So when I ain't have a deal, I had a suitcase of rhymes. Now I'm albums in. So I said some rhymes. I said a couple of rhymes. Then I said a little bit of a song, Ain't No Stopping This, a little bit. Then Jay came up rap. I was out of rhymes, B. Mm-hmm. In no scenario was I like fully loaded and ready to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? If I was, I'm not exactly like, the first rapper that you really want to get into that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like, so yes, did I run out of rhymes? Was I finished rapping? Absolutely. Was it their peanut gallery? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But do you really want to get into some of that kind of shit with LL? Like, you really want that?
Oh, so
no, but I'm saying, like, do dudes really want the problems, or is it just a nice story to have? It's like Floyd taking off the glove, stepping out the ring, and you shadow boxing in front of him.
Yeah.
I caught you. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, you caught me. Y'all caught me.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things, you just weren't as prepared as you probably should have been.
I wasn't prepared. I ran out of rhymes. They run up. This motherfucker, he been rapping on the corner for 10 years. He got fucking 1,000 rhymes. I ain't got none. I'm out of rhymes. He raps. Okay, congrats. You got that one.
Yeah.
You got that one. But, if I was you, I'd just bank that one and just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Don't drop nothing.
What up, world? It's your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep dropping those cash apps. I appreciate you, gang. Listen. I just watched LL Cool J on Charlemagne's podcast. It was called Out of Context, and Charlemagne was interviewing LL Cool J. It's about an hour long or so. I highly suggest you go check it out if you're into just good hip-hop conversation. And one thing that stuck out with me was it has been going viral on little memes, but I want to dig a little deeper into this issue with LL Cool J and Jay-Z. Now, if you are any type of hip-hop head like myself, you already know, you don't need to be told, that for the past 20 years or so, LL Cool J has had a underlying problem with Jay-Z. We could never figure it out. If someone asked you, what's LL Cool J's problem with Jay-Z, or vice versa, it was never, ever clear. It was never clear. I'm just going to be honest. If someone knew it, put in the comments, oh man, everybody know why LL, but to most of us, we knew LL had a little undercurrent with Jay-Z. It was always there. It was never like overt, but it was just always, you felt it, you saw it. LL had a problem with Jay. We never knew why. I just assumed when I was asked, I'm just going to be honest, I thought LL had a little bit of jealousy. I never knew why, but you know how it is when you're used to being the man and then somebody comes along that's a little bit sleeker, a little bit slicker. They're doing things a little bit differently. Let's be honest. Nobody was doing it like Jay when Jay dropped. I'm just going to be honest. You're going to say Big L, but Big L got taken out pretty early. What was it, 95? Like Big L was out of here? Something like 94, 95, right? So there was nobody really doing it like Jay. And people going to say, oh, Jay stole this guy's style, da-da-da. He stole all of Ski's beats and all. You're going to say all that stuff, but it doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, Jay rose above a lot of the talent in New York, a lot of the rappers in New York, right? Sauce Money, Jazzo, whoever you want to name. Jay rose above all of them at the time. Prodigy and all these different people. It was a lot of rappers at the time. Mike Geronimo, you can name a bunch, right? Jay slowly but surely rose above these guys. Fat Joe, all of these guys. And at one point, all of New York was coming at Jay. And LL was one of them. And we don't know why, but people always felt that there was an undercurrent between LL Cool J and Jay-Z. And I just chalked it up to younger rap, because they the same age. So he ain't that much younger. But I always chalked it up that LL kind of was, you know how when it's just, you don't know why they're beefing. It's just, he's coming up. I still feel like I got something to say. I'm the man. So I just don't like him. But with this interview with Charlamagne, it kind of looks like we got our answer. Now, I didn't know about this rumored battle with LL Cool J at a nightclub in Manhattan. I'm just hearing about this with this video. And I didn't know that there was a rumor that LL got ran up on by Jay-Z in this nightclub. And LL tried to spit. First he spit against Jay-Z's man, and then Jay came. And LL tried to spit a written verse from a song called Funkadelic Relic that ended up on his album, I believe that may have been on 14 Shots to the Dome, one of those albums, right? But before the album dropped, he spit a rhyme from, they're saying Funkadelic Relic, which is hilarious, just to name a song that somebody spit in a battle that they lost. Apparently that battle went on to have LL spitting this rhyme and Jay-Z and them straight up laughing at LL, which, first of all, is low-key rude. It's kind of rude, let's be honest. And I know how dudes are, though. Dudes are merciless. They vicious, especially New York dudes from the hood, dudes from the city. And if you think you got all this, you're popping these bottles and yada yada, and you doing this and that, and you see LL over there, you challenge him to a battle, he's not ready, right? Because the only reason you challenge him to a battle because you held him in a high regard. Let's just start there. You only challenged LL to that battle because LL at one point was your idol. LL was everybody's idol. LL ushered in new hip-hop the way we have it to this day. If we didn't have LL, new hip-hop probably would have had a stale-ass flow. LL was the young buck that made a lot of noise. He challenged a lot of norms. He dissed a lot of people, and he made a lot of things change for hip-hop itself. He changed that whole clap your hands. LL came with the, now listen, my radio, believe me, I like it loud. I'm the man with the box that can rock the crowd. LL came with a different style, different flow, different arrogance, different confidence. He pissed off Kool Moe Dee and a whole lot of other people. Ice-T, right? And he changed the game. So LL was your idol, your highest title. LL was that, right? So Jay-Z challenged him in a nightclub. And what Nas say? Jay-Z knew the rules. For him to be the king, he had to take out the king. And at one time, it was LL. So he ran him on LL. LL's in album mode. You got to think, LL by this time, this was like, I want to say around 92, 93. Because if he's spitting a verse from Funkadelic Relic that hadn't dropped yet, that came out in 93. So if he got that verse written, I'm going to say this all happened around 92, 93. LL disputes that it was Funkadelic Relic, and he says it was a different rhyme. I believe he said it was something of a song, right? So LL's in album mode. LL's acting. LL is in, and we all know as hip hoppers, if you become successful in your whole mind, you're meeting with these people in these offices. You're taking movie roles, you're reading scripts and da-da-da, you're rubbing elbows at Hollywood with these different people, you're probably doing a little coke, you're probably doing a little this and that, you're drinking, you chasing chicks in bikinis, right? You're not focused as a dude on the block that's hungry, that don't have no deal, that all he think about all day when he wake up is rapping and battling. Jay-Z was rapping and battling everybody in New York. They were going from block to block. Who's nice over here? Okay, let me battle him. Oh, yeah, your man DMX is over there. Let me battle him. I'm going over there. They battling for money. They come to your block and battle for a couple grand and take the money, right? So they was on a different time than LL. LL was that hungry dude in, I want to say, 85, 84, 85. He was the dude doing all that. Now it's 93. LL got bigger things. LL going back to Cali. You got to think by 93, LL had probably dropped 3-4 albums minimum by 93. So LL was already a star. He wasn't rapping, battling no more. So he caught him, bang bang, like let's battle. And LL, he's still a lion. So he's going to try to be a lion. it wasn't time for him to be in line because he wasn't prepared. So he jumped into this battle. He already had to know who Jay-Z was. He wouldn't have battled him. He already knew this is the man. I can't let this guy punk me right now. So he battles Jay-Z. He says he ran out of rhymes, and then Jay-Z, he had that one rhyme left. He started spitting the rhyme. He claims it wasn't Funkadelic Relic. Jay-Z and his boys heard it and started laughing. See, this is the thing about battling. Like when Jay-Z made Freeway battle, who was it? Cassidy. They told Jay that Cassidy was the next up. Cassidy was the man. He don't nobody want to with Cassidy. He said, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my young boy. So he sick Freeway on Cassidy. Now, Cassidy ain't the one to play with. This dude all day, every day, all he doing all day is just writing rhymes and just taking on all contenders. Freeway wasn't doing that. Freeway was writing in the studio. He's writing raps to beats, right? He's just making songs, da-da-da. A songwriter not prepared to fight a real battler. So Freeway came with his written verses to songs that he were, and hit them spitting the game, like whatever he's saying. And Cassidy just eating them, just eat. These dudes got so mad, it was like ready to be a beef, right? You're not prepared when you're coming off of album mode, when you're writing for albums. You're not as hungry. You don't have the same mentality. And them rhymes are not going to fit that person. They're not made to destroy. They're just made to kind of like flow a beat and keep it simple, right? So LL spits this verse, and I'm just going to be honest. It probably sounded corny in a battle context. It probably did not make no sense. It probably sounded fire to whatever beat, but it probably sounded corny to a bunch of dudes. They're popping Moet, because that's what everybody was drinking at the time. Cristal Moet at the time. They're throwing money around. They got all these chicks around, and LL spitting some stuff about Funkadelic Relic or whatever he rapping about. So they started laughing. Insidious laughter, which is the worst. And they embarrassed him. Now, in this interview, LL spends this whole, I want to say 5 to 7 minutes talking about Jay-Z, trying to convince us that there is no problem. But I read his body language. I read between the lines of what he's saying, and he's clearly not over this thing with Jay-Z. I'm just going to be honest. Now, he may be grown enough to be in the same room with him. He may be grown enough to shake his hand and have a conversation. But at any moment, right now, LL really would go Kendrick and Drake right now with Jay-Z, literally right now. At 55, 54, 56, whatever ages him and Jay are, whatever ages they are at the moment, LL will take that literally right now and try to hit him with every single thing he could possibly hit him with right now. He has no love lost for Jay. He pretty much tells you when Charlamagne says, you two should spar. He's like, spar how? How we gonna spar? What you mean? Let's go. Like, he won it now after this battle. This battle had to be in 1993. Right? 93. And even I don't even know if Funkadelic Relic had already dropped and he said a verse. I don't know. It was 93, 94. It's 2024. That's 20 to 21 years ago, and LL is still ready. He still wants that smoke with Jay-Z. Now, I feel like, and he did his best to try to make it appear, I have no problem with homie, right? First of all, when you call somebody homie, right? I don't got no problem with homie. You're detaching yourself from him. You're making him, okay, he's good over there, I'm good over here. That's homie. Like, I ain't got no problem with homie, da-da-da. And I feel like he has made it where, okay, currently, I don't have nothing bad to say about Jay-Z. He's done his thing, I've done mine, stay out of my way type of thing. It is not a thing where we're really good, bro. I don't have no problem. We can talk, da-da-da. It's like, stay over there, I stay over here. LL is still feeling a way about this battle, him losing and being laughed at. But who wouldn't? Let's be honest, I still remember stuff from high school, bro. I still remember stuff from 9th grade. I still remember stuff from 8th grade. So you're going to remember this stuff now to say you're actively still upset? No. But at the same time, it's going to trigger you. So I think still bringing up Jay to this day, and I think it was so many years, Charlamagne brought up the picture of they were at the Grammys or BET Awards or something, and they got a picture of LL just ice grilling him. He's behind Jay, and he's just ice grilling him like, this sucker, like, what da da. And Charlamagne asked him about that picture. He said, what was going on in your mind when that camera caught you looking at Jay? Were you sizing Jay up? And LL said, I know what picture you're talking about. He said, but the camera probably caught him after he looked at me that way. He probably looked at me first that way, and then I looked back at him, and that's when they snapped the picture. He probably said, it was homie messing with me first, right? So it's like, we're getting answers, but all the answers lead to, I still low-key, I ain't got no love lost with this dude. And he asked him about the Def Jam situation when LL became president of Def Jam. He said he was cool. He said he thought that he would understand what they were going through as artists because he was an artist himself. So he said, I figured that I didn't have no problem with Jay becoming the president of Def Jam because he was supposed to be an artist. But most people remember the rumors that LL was furious. Now, I don't know if this is true, but LL claims he never wanted to be the president of Def Jam, which I can understand that because LL doesn't need to be the president of Def Jam because he owns all his publishing. He owns his masters according to him. So he don't need to be a president of all these other rappers because he only need to worry about is himself. So he don't need the job. But I also do remember that hearing back in the day, the rumors, because these rumors of this battle, it turned out to be true. So the rumors were that LL was furious that Jay-Z, he didn't want nothing to do with it. LL claims in the interview that he had a meeting with Jay when he became president, and the meeting went great, and they never brought up their tension. Now, I'm just going to be honest, right? And I get it, getting on some grown man stuff. I don't even know what year Jay became the president of Def Jam, but I'm just going to be honest. I am going to bring that up in that meeting. We're either going to laugh about it, cry about it, fight about it, but I'm not going to sit in a meeting with you and acting like there's never been an issue or there's nothing to discuss. When you just became essentially, you just became my boss, and I've been in the game 10 years before you. And I have a little issue with you about that. Even if I laugh it off, I'm going to mention that battle where you got me. Because he got him. LL admits he got him. He lost the battle. He wasn't prepared. He said, but he don't want that now. He don't want that smoke now. Let's like da-da-da. He's still ready for the battle. And he still, in no uncertain terms, is saying, if you want that problem, I'll give it to you badly. And he make it sound like Jay don't want this smoke. So that means you're still ready to go. I feel like there is a little bit of underplaying because there was a lot of subliminals. I'm talking about years and years. That's what history does. People get to rewrite things and soften the blow and make things look not as serious and make things look like, oh, nah, you bugging. It wasn't that bad. Da, da, da. But I remember it looked like LL had no love at all for Jay-Z for years. Now, like I said, he's grown. He's older now. We're talking, you're in your 50s. And I'm bugging. I think, hold on. I'm bugging out. That's not 20 years. That's 30 years. 93? That's 30 years ago. I'm bugging out. Like, I need to wake up, bro. I said 20 years. That's 30 years ago. I feel like LL is still on edge in regards to Jay-Z. And I feel like Jay returns what he's given from any rapper. I feel like now he's older. He may be less inclined to do so. But I feel like for years, Jay threw a bunch of his own subliminals back at LL. But I truly feel like Jay never thought LL was a threat on his level. Because for years, LL haven't been making music to even be in the conversation, right? LL's last album, I believe they say was 11 years ago, and that album, no one knew it even came out. So even before that, he had already been out the game for 20 years, really, right? So musically, there's no reason, there's nothing to gain from dissing LL Cool J for Jay-Z. There was nothing to gain. Throw a little subliminal and keep it moving. He wasn't in the equation. Drake been in the equation longer than LL at this point, like musically, right? Eminem, it was way more other people for Jay to focus his attentions on. Ludacris, right? It was way more people making money in hip-hop than LL. LL has started acting. He's on NCIS. He was doing his thing. We never lost respect, but it was just no reason to battle LL Cool J. It just wasn't. So it was no reason to full-on take him on. He had went and, let's be honest, he put up a good fight, but LL lost to Cannabis. He lost to Cannabis. He won the war, but Cannabis beat LL. Now, LL had won every battle prior to Cannabis, so we're not taking nothing from him. But LL's last real battle was cannabis, and he lost that. Now I've never seen a man not lose a chink, not lose a step. When he lost the cannabis, it didn't derail LL's career even slightly. It just had something for people to talk about. LL lost the cannabis, and after that, LL pretty much scrub-a-dub-dub cannabis career up off the map. And cannabis shot himself in the foot, but LL ain't help it. Right? You know what I'm saying? So it was like LL came out with the GOAT, greatest of all time, and cannabis was out of here. LL was already he was moving on, right? There was no reason to diss cannabis no more. So, end of the day, LL and Jay-Z are grown. They both have made millions. They both have nothing to worry about financially, but I still feel like LL, to this day, feels like Jay got one up on him. And I don't think he's ever going to let it go. If you're 56 and you're still talking about something 30 years ago, you're not letting it go, right? So I don't have no problem with this because it sounds like he's willing to just live and let live. And I don't think we're ever going to get no words back and forth from Jay. Jay probably won't even respond to this, just be honest. And I think he wouldn't even want to respond to it because there's no reason to flare up LL and get him all like, you know what I'm saying, get his muscles all flustered up. It's no reason. Jay think like I think. There's no reason to push that button. There's nothing to gain from that. LL got more to gain from that than Jay. Even if Jay bowed him and Jay won convincingly, he gained nothing. He had to crush a legend, and he had to beat a man that he really probably admires. So it doesn't make any sense to bring that up. But you tell me what you think in the comments. Did LL Cool J and Jay-Z beef for 30 years over a lost battle? Head on over to CLBMG. Make sure you hit that Cashapp CLBMG. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share the video. All right? I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.